with t0inky TV, and I'm here to do episode 7 of Emergency Couple. And I gotta say that this episode I really enjoyed because you got a lot more insight into Jinhee and Chensu as well as Changmin. Changmin is actually getting to be much more likable. First few episodes I couldn't stand him. I thought he was a jerk and he didn't really have many redeeming qualities because he was just more like, he's just like always on a rampage to like bring Jinhee down and talk smack about her and just put her in her place. It was basically, he was a mini version of his mother and just kind of going off on rants. Chensu is actually developing very well too. I mean, he's got this idealistic, noble doctor, heart of gold himself, who's very selfless, but also very curmudgeon-y and cranky and just like a kind of like a cranky old guy who is in the body of a middle-aged man who is wanted by his surgeon friend Jinhee. And then Jinhee, our heroine, she has been growing up, thankfully. She went from a complete loser, bumbling blob of mess into somebody who's gaining a lot more confidence, a lot more like security around her sense of self, the fact that she is now a doctor and gaining more confidence in her medical abilities, as well as just, you know, getting a little bit more attention from males. Well, one is her ex-husband, but, you know, he's being kind of like, I mean, there's got to be a reason why he married her in the first place. And then also Chensu, I think, can see a little bit of her charm underneath all of that bumbling blobbiness. End of the last episode 6, and this is where Jinhee like made a complete mess at a indie rock band get together, and of course all of her coworkers are there to see her just land and be a complete mess. Her sister got away, and now everybody's like, you know, what happened? So instead of telling Changmin that her sister stole the ring that he bought her for their wedding, she just said, oh, she owes her some money, and left it at that, which I think was kind of nice because, you know, why bring up the whole painful marriage and the fact that his sister or her sister, you know, stole the ring, because it doesn't really look good on either anybody's part. And then Jihye and Chensu are kind of on a date. I don't know. Like, I don't think he knew that, but I think Jihye is definitely gunning for the date scene. And when she drops him off back at the hospital, she leaves him with a little bag of goodies and kind of like a little innuendo of, you know, instead of staying always at the hospital, you can come by my place and sleep over at any time, and here's a key. And he's just like, what? You think I'm easy? It was kind of a funny little scene. And then back at the indie rock bar, you see Changmin kind of like coo and like do all these little things with Jinhee, like trying to bandage up her hand. Autumn notices too, and she just feels that they're too familiar with each other, and so she gets a little bit put out and like not having it, because I'm sure Autumn is always the center of attention, and so when she's not, I think she gets a little bit miffed. So then Jinhee's just kind of like, you know what, here's your handkerchief back, just take it, go back to your date, and basically just leave me alone. And that's kind of where I think Changmin gets really down about it, because then he starts just drowning his sorrows away. He drinks drink after drink, and then he's kind of like, I think, delving into the fact that maybe his life isn't what he thought it was, where, you know, his mom is always praising him for being the top and the best, because, you know, after the tracheotomy patient, after his mom almost passed away, he's kind of a little bit shaken. Maybe he's not the golden child. Maybe Jinhee, there's something more to Jinhee than he realizes. And so I kind of like that he was a little bit more introspective, even though he was drinking. And so maybe that kind of put a little spark in his interest back into his ex-wife. And the funniest thing, okay, so there's a lot of drunk dialing in this drama. So Changmin actually drunk dials Jinhee and says, you know, thank you for saving my mom, and I'm really sorry. Click. And then in the morning, he's confused. He doesn't know why there's a call placed to Jinhee, and then he asks her about it, and then she's like, you don't know what you said? You have no idea? You don't know? And then she goes on to say, oh, well, you said that you love me forever and you miss me terribly and you want to get back together, and I called you crazy and I hung up on you. Which totally was so hilarious, because it's kind of like, in your face, Changmin. Okay, so another hilarious scene with Jinhee, and you know what? I think Jinhee, the actress Song Ji-ho, she's actually a very elegant woman. So for her to be playing this bumbling person is kind of funny. So this episode, this scene, she's actually trying to check up on Changmin's mom, but Changmin's mom's sisters come into the room, so she goes and hides in the bathroom. And then, so the women are talking, bedside with Changmin's mom, and then Jinhee's in the bathroom, but then all of a sudden her internal digestive system is going crazy and she's tooting and farting, and then the ladies outside are like blaming each other and they don't know what's going on, and finally they're like, oh my gosh, there's somebody in the bathroom. That's when Jinhee lets it all out. And then, so I'm sure that the women were just like mortified. Jinhee's mortified. She tries to make a clean escape, but she doesn't, and she's just like, sorry. The sister is not just in a rock band, but she somehow has a baby and a baby daddy. And the baby daddy with the baby brought it home back to Jinhee and Jinhee's mom. And so if their life wasn't already difficult or just not just running smoothly as it is, this is another wrench into the wheel. And so this time, Jinhee really wants to find the sister and get her life back on track. So then Jinhee gets a home emergency call from the patient from before, Emma, who's so poor, the family can't pay for medical expenses. So then she goes to their house, realizes this is a little bit more involved than what she can handle, so she calls Chun-Soo. So both being the very noble, idealist doctors that they are, they save Emma and everything is well. This scene also brings Chun-Soo and Jinhee together, closer together, which I really enjoy about this love pentagon-shaped thing with all 5 of these people. Actually, you'd have to say 6 because there's Youngyu who also likes Aram, but he's kind of nowhere near Changmin's league, so Aram doesn't even think about that guy. I even forgot about him. But anyways, so now Chun-Soo and Jinhee, they're doing a little bit of skinship. There's like, of course, they're on the bus, and surprisingly, he falls asleep on her, when usually it's the girl falling asleep on the guy's shoulder. And so during this time, Jinhee's phone shuts off because it's a very opportune time for her phone to shut off, right when Changmin's trying to call. So I think that adds a little bit of interesting flavor for the next episode, where there's going to be more jealousy, more competitiveness, and more kind of like where I think Changmin is finally going to see Jinhee's worth as a woman, as somebody not to just be like picked on and yelled at and called ignorant and all of those nasty things that he used to call her. So I'm actually kind of happy that Changmin kind of gets his comeuppance here, because he's really been the golden child, and Jinhee is finally making her way into the world. So I'm really excited to see episode 8. So let me know what you think about this drama series, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!